Part-time hosts and expert NHL handicappers Carmine Bianco and Andrew McInnis have teamed up to offer all of their hockey selections, including 5% best bets and an amazing 2-for-1 combo package. An NHL season pass takes you through the Stanley Cup in June and is priced at $379. But right now, you can get both Carmine and Andrew's hockey selections for only $499. Our Puck Time Power Play 2-for-1 combo gives you close to 5 months of NHL action, priced at $499, which comes out to only $3.33 per day.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. You're watching Puck Time. I'm Andrew McInnis. It's just Carmine and I today here on the show. We've got a really good show, though. We got Carmine's 6 and 60 segment at the end. Of course, our 4 games to go over. We're breaking down some cross-sport props with NHL stuff, soccer stuff, and the Super Bowl. So looking forward to that as well, included in this show. So a jam-packed show. Not too many games here on this Friday NHL slate. We'll try and find you guys some winners. But Carm, how was your night last night, and how are things going?
It could have been a monster night, Andrew. To be honest with you, I was probably a third period meltdown by the St. Louis Blues from having a 7-0 day yesterday. Finished up at 5-2. So I'm glad to be on the plus side at the end of the night, but it could have been so much better as far as that goes. And yeah, we have the 6 and 60, some Super Bowl cross props with Super Bowl and NHL stuff. We're going to catch just before the 6 and 60, of course, our best bet segment, these 4 games. But before that, I want to address something I forgot to address yesterday at the beginning of the show. Somebody had asked in our comment section about starting goalies and injuries. I've mentioned before, RotoWire is a good site. They will update the expected, and then once confirmed goalies, we should always check it again, because sometimes, kind of like that Tippett one from the other night, he made a change an hour and a half before the game, went from Skinner, who was confirmed, to Smith. They also show injuries there. Other sites, Daily Faceoff, Goalie Post, Left Wing Lock. Left Wing Lock will update some injuries. Always check those ones. You'll find up-to-date stuff on there and any other tidbits of info. It's very good. I want to talk about something on yesterday's show really quickly. Can we put this video up, our production crew, please? He hasn't been good this year. He's got 2 wins, 6 losses. The 2 wins, his team scored 7 goals from. They're not scoring 7 goals on the St. Louis Blues tonight. They're not scoring 7 goals on the St. Louis Blues last night. That was this doofus's opinion on that game last night. And what did the Jersey Devils do? Here, hold my beer, Bianco. 7 goals on St. Louis last night. Man, listen, I didn't know I had those powers. I'm going to try it again. There is no way I am winning the lottery tonight, Andrew. There is no way I am winning the lottery. But tune in tomorrow, and I'll give you tonight's lottery numbers tomorrow. But that's pretty much it. I got a kick out of that. I'm glad you guys could clip that one for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, Carm. And look, first of all, I had them in my sell team. So that's kind of an L for both of us, Carm. So we'll both hold that L, because I said the Devils don't have any scoring depth, and they go ahead and do that. So we'll both hold that. But just really quick, I mean, I'm not just trying to be nice saying this, but for all of you guys out there, especially if you're younger and you're on social media a lot, or you don't have to be younger, I guess, but whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, these platforms, how many times do you see sports bettors admit when they're wrong about something? Try and tell me that. Go on TikTok, scroll around, and tell me how many times you're going to see somebody admitting they're wrong the next day about something, like Carmine just did, in a comedic and funny way. You just don't get that in this industry enough. We here at WagerTalk try and do it as much as we possibly can to show transparency. You know, we are not going to be right all the time. Carmine and I are here on the show every single day. We have some laughs. We have some fun with our guests. And unfortunately, times like that are going to happen. Unfortunately, I wish I took the team total for the New Jersey Devils last night, Carm. I wonder what over 6.5 team total goals would have been paying for the New Jersey Devils. Would have been a decent price. That's there. But today's games, we got the Jets at the Stars, Islanders at Oilers, Lightning at Coyotes. That's a barn burner right there. and the Kraken at the Ducks. And of course, like I mentioned, some cool props to get into, and then the famous 6 and 60 segment at the end of the show. So let's jump into our first game here of the night that we're going to dive into and get things started with the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. Look, the Dallas Stars are minus 160 in this game here, Carm. Winnipeg plus 140, totals 5.5 here. When I take a look at this Stars team, I'll continue to say it. I've been shocked at their defense, not only just their defense, but their goaltending as well, Carm. Um, Winnipeg here, I like the over when I first looked at this game, but Winnipeg, to me, they're hard to understand what you're going to get out of them. One game, you'll see some offensive production. The next game, you can't find anybody on the ice that has the ability to score a goal for them. But I don't like the price on either side here. If I'm playing the game, I'm looking towards the over. I feel like Winnipeg could get up for this game here against Dallas. And they're coming off a 2-0 win against Minnesota. They shut them out. I don't think they can shut out Dallas here, especially on the road. So my play would be on the over.
Yeah, I can't fault you here, Andrew. I'm looking kind of like the same way on this one. Coming into these weekend games and looking at them midweek, I really wanted to. I was trying to make a case as much as I could to take Winnipeg tonight. I just thought start of a short road trip for them. But these are two very tough back-to-back games they have against a Dallas team that is playing some very good hockey right now. And then they've got to go to Nashville tomorrow in the second of a back-to-back. It's kind of tough. Dallas, their last 10 games, they're gravitating to the over. 7 of the last 10 games have gone over the number. These are two tough games for Winnipeg. If you look at their advanced schedule, and it's literally a make or break for the Winnipeg Jets if they want to make a move up those West standings. I really don't think that's going to happen because some of the teams in front of them are playing really well. But they've got the Stars tonight, Nashville tomorrow. They return home to face Chicago, but then again Minnesota, Edmonton, Calgary, Dallas again, Colorado, and you've got Seattle Kraken and Arizona mixed in there. But that is a tough as nails schedule for this team. And I just can't see them winning, 7 of those 10 games that I think I just named. They're going to finish in that 9th or 10th spot in all likelihood, Andrew. I don't think this is a good spot for them. This Dallas team is playing like a Dallas team of 2 years ago. If you remember, they were extremely tough to play against. They played well defensively, scored goals, and then they had after that Stanley Cup run, they had an off season last year. So I think they're back to the Stars team that of 2 years back, playing really well, playing well at home. I would lean to the Stars here, but I like the over a little bit better.
Let's get some goals. Carmine and I both looking towards over 5.5 in this one. We'll see what happens in the side, but we're both expecting to see a goal fest here in this one. Especially, it's nice to get the 5.5 versus the 6 or 6.5. Especially, let's keep this thing going here with our next game: the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders going head to head. And obviously, there's a storyline here. Let's get into it just real quick. The Edmonton Oilers, they fire head coach Dave Tippett. They're bouncing back right away. They play the next day. They're minus 145 at home against the Islanders. But the only funny thing I find in this situation here is that we've kind of been waiting to see when that outbreak would come from the New York Islanders. And the funny thing is, I had the Islanders as a buy team. I believe the second week I did the buy and sell segment. And, we talk about how they opened up their season with a 13-game road trip. They played with an AHL roster for probably 4 or 5 games when half their roster had COVID or they were injured. But the NHL would not let them shut down their games. Now you're starting to see them play a little bit better, a little bit different, but that 6-3 win for me in favor of the Islanders there, I thought that was huge for them against the Vancouver Canucks. I'm never someone trying to hype something up too much here, Carm, but I really do believe that is a confidence booster, a momentum win there against a good Vancouver team playing some pretty good hockey, and they got to feel pretty good about themselves after that. So it's kind of an interesting story. It's an underachieving Edmonton team that has two of the best players on the planet. Just fired their head coach against an Islanders team that plays well defensively, that I think will get better and continue to progress throughout the year. But we've got one team decent favorites here, so it's an interesting spot. I also think it kind of depends on how much you really buy into the whole coaches rant or coaches firing rant a lot of people go on. I'm not so sure it's applicable for every situation. Before I hand it to you, though, Carm, I just wanted to mention one thing. I've been giving out a lot of the McDavid props and Austin Matthews props and stuff like that. Mitch Marner, his shots on goal prop. I hope you guys jumped on that. I hit it again last night. But Evander Kane, he has gone over his shots on goal prop in most games since he's joined the Edmonton Oilers. He's a shoot first guy. It's not like he's selfish. He's just getting set up. He's a shoot first forward. And that's what he does, Carmen. You're still getting pretty good odds on him, whether it's over 2.5 or a plus price 3.5 over on his shots on goal. So I just wanted to get that out there for people to be aware of that, because when he first joined the team, he was a minus 120 to get a point. Now that ship has sailed. I mean, it's like minus 150 some nights for him to get a point. But the shots on goal prop with Evander Kane is actually pretty good for him. So I look at that, guys. What are your thoughts here, though, Kyron? Two good storylines for both teams here tonight.
Yeah, this is, again, a tough one. The Isles are on here, but that's because there's 4 games. In all honesty, you're looking at the starting goalies, and I'm always going to talk about the starting goalies, I think, from this point forward, because I talked about on yesterday's show that I like the Blues because of Husso being the likely starter, and then they went with Binnington, and I mentioned the minute before our show was over that Binnington was confirmed that I wasn't happy about it, and he didn't look good last night. Binnington didn't. So I think we're going to see a steady diet of Husso over the next little while for St. Louis. But you look at the same thing applies here to this Edmonton Oilers team. I am not a fan of their goalies. I'm just not. I know this team can score, but when they don't score, and we've seen it the last couple of games, 1 goal in 2 games at home against Vegas and this last one where they lost 4-1 to Chicago. You look at it, and you've got Smith. He's allowed 4 goals in each of the last 2 games. He's allowed 4 goals in 5 of his last 6 starts. I get it. The Edmonton Oilers are a high-powered offensive unit. But when you find a team that can shut them down, you're going to need your goalie to steal games. And Mike Smith just isn't that guy this year. He just isn't. You want to talk about people who steal games? Sorokin, last game out. If he starts tonight, that last game out against Vancouver, Andrew, they scored 6 goals, as you mentioned, but the Islanders' expected goal numbers for that game, the final numbers were 1.87 to 2.23 for Vancouver. They got some easy goals at the beginning. There's deflections, 5 goals in the first 16 minutes of that game, and then they held on for dear life against a high-flying Vancouver team that, like I said, looked like they were on the power play. Edmonton, with the coaching change, we always talk about the uptick. It happened to Vancouver. It happened to Winnipeg. Maybe this is the 3rd Canadian team that fires a coach, other than the Montreal one yesterday, of course, that we see an uptick, because this team is too talented to be losing games by 4-0 and 4-1 margins at home. I like them tonight to win this game. We could see some goals, but Sorokin's been fantastic. He's like 14-8, 2.34 goals against average. He's playing lights out. It'll be interesting to see, because the Isles play tonight. It's the first half of the Alberta double, and then they play tomorrow in Calgary. It'll be interesting to see which one they start Sorokin in, because he won't start both games. I just can't see that happening. If he starts tonight, I'd rather he started tomorrow, to be honest with you, because I want to take Edmonton tonight. And I'd rather go against the backup goalie for the Isles tonight. But small lean to the Oilers here.
Yeah, very similar to my thoughts as well there, Carm. The Oilers, they just can't really score without a power play right now. I mean, they need the special teams. Like you said, their goaltending, you've been saying it all year long. No matter who's in there, their goaltending is very weak. So It's tough to find out. But yeah, like you mentioned about checking those goaltenders, especially you talked about it at the top of the show. I always say you can handicap a game. You can do your research and matchups and stuff like that. But I'll never sacrifice saving 10, 20 cents for getting the misinformation. And so all my clients know that. Sometimes they're getting plays at 4 o'clock Eastern time, sometimes later, waiting on certain pieces of information. I think that's worth it. Versus getting a play out much earlier because of that information. So, Carmen, we got some best bets, we got some promos, a couple other segments coming up at the end of the show. But it is Friday. It's just you and I on the show. I just wanted to ask you and give you the opportunity just to mention what you have up for this weekend for your clients.
Yeah, if you like action, it is going to be an action-packed weekend, and then that just spills over into next week. I still have that 7-day, I think it's valid till midnight tonight, 7-day all access for $59. If you use the code WIN59 at checkout, it'll drop $40 off that price down to $59. I have a Super Bowl package up right now that includes 7 props, and it's going to have 3 or 4 more props in it. As I mentioned last year, it's 7-3 with the props, did very well. Going to be, of course, NHL both days, Saturday and Sunday. A couple plays up for tonight already. And then soccer, a couple plays today, and then a full weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then we kick right into next week, Champions League, Europa League. So the 7-day will cover you from today till next Thursday. You're going to get a ton of plays and hopefully way more winning plays than losing plays, Andrew.
Yeah, I think that we can get that out of you, Carm. I think that from what I've seen, from when you have these highly, action-packed weekends, you've had a lot of success with those, and it's one of those great weekends for, like you mentioned, we got basketball, soccer, Super Bowl, NHL, so much going on. I look forward to it, and it's funny. We had our prop show. We recorded that, and we had that going live, in just a couple hours, and we talked about how managing your bankroll and not getting too carried away. But there are some fun props to get into. We talked about some halftime, some anthem, the Gatorade color and all that stuff. But it's going to be an action-packed weekend for me as well. And I wanted to promote just real quick the 5% UFC play I have. This is my second straight weekend with one. And I've never really done this back-to-back weekend. Just the way it worked out. It is a massive card for UFC 271. I was number 1 with 5% UFC plays in 2021. I'm on a 15-5 UFC run, so I'm looking forward to that event. So it's going to be a huge weekend. I'm pumped about sports for this weekend from start to finish, Carm. I can't wait.
I better get a text message with that these 5% plays and stuff because like Don Buster, by the way, has one up at a Sports Memo, a 5% NHL play for tonight. You can go over there and get that. But Andrew, you're killing it last year with those UFC ones. I better get a text message from you, or our production guy is going to mute your mic all of next week.
Sounds good. You definitely will. Speaking of big games, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Arizona Coyotes. Can the Coyotes pull off the upset at plus 255? Well, Tampa Bay, they're minus 315. We always talk about juice we're willing to pay on this show. I'm not so sure if I would do that with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Total is at 6 in this one here, Carm. I've talked about being a lot more of a team totals guy recently than I have in years past. That's probably where I'd look in this game, Tampa Bay's team total. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, can they pull off the upset? They went to Colorado and pulled it off. They're playing at home. I saw someone talk quickly in chat about the Coyotes playing in a 5,000-seat arena. They don't even get 5,000 fans. They don't want to lose their team. I think they just want a new arena or a new arena deal. Hopefully they get it worked out because they could have a bright future ahead if they bring in a really smart hockey guy with all those draft picks that they have. Maybe put a team together for the future along with some free agents. As far as this game goes, Andrew, I'm probably going to look at the over. To be honest with you, Tampa played last night, so this is the second of a back-to-back. They're showing that it's going to be Brian Elliott in goal tonight, but again, you have to still confirm that. But this stat is based on Brian Elliott. He has started 4 times this year in the second of a Tampa Bay back-to-back. All 4 games have gone over the total. all 4 games. The average of those games were 8 goals, 32 goals scored in those 4 games where he featured in the second of a back-to-back for Tampa Bay. So I'm just going to throw a quick little stat out there and take the over in this game.
Well, hopefully, while you hit that over, it's Tampa Bay Lightning carrying it, which I think we can probably both expect, and I'll be able to catch that team total as well. But it's not often we see back-to-back great games from the Arizona Coyotes, and that's not too much of a shocker statement for anybody to hear. I did want to mention this real quick. A theory that I have noticed, and I talked about it. It's not really applicable for tonight, but I talked about it the other night when Vancouver absolutely beat down the Arizona Coyotes, and the next day they lost to the Islanders. Teams are really, really like momentum based, and if you're like having a lot of success against Tampa Bay, or excuse me, against Arizona, be careful playing that same team the next game. I really think that the fat and sassy quote that I got from Marco, it's applicable against that. But if you're a team that wants to get on the right track, and the thing is with Tampa is one of those teams that they show no mercy. I have one of them written down as one of those teams, Carm. If they could score 9 goals tonight, they will. They won't really. Some other teams I think would start dumping the puck in and play safe, but John Cooper, I don't think he'll hold back. Do you agree with that?
No, yeah, I agree with it. When they're on, they are on, and they just score goals, and they score them kind of like Florida does as well too, in rapid succession, and they try and bear you real quickly. So they get that they get a goal, and they usually have a very good unit on the ice next time out, and they're just pushing to get that second one. So that's the type of team that they are. Just quickly, I wanted to touch on the game yesterday. I actually was hoping that the Leafs would win, even though I am quickly becoming a Calgary fan because they are making me money. Because I wanted to fade the Leafs going into tomorrow, and we'll see in the 6 and 60 segment whether I do or not. But those Calgary Flames, Andrew, how about it? They keep winning. Now 4 points out of first place in the Pacific with, I think, 4 or 5 games in hand. So I'm pretty happy about this Flames team right now.
Yeah, great call by you on that. You're high on them, and those guys are looking confident out there. They're scoring, and I cashed an over ticket on that game, Carm, but thank God one team showed up. And I got to say, since we're on the topic of that game, and it's just the two of us here on the show, I know we got some segments to get into. I hate when people flip around so much on their opinions on things. How are people blaming Jack Campbell for that game? That guy was an NHL All-Star. He's in the Vezina conversation, and all of a sudden the Leafs are giving up goals again, and immediately it's the goaltender's fault. I got to get your thoughts on that, Carm, because to me, you guys know I love ripping on the Leafs. I'm a Habs fan, but I like Jack Campbell. He does not deserve any hate at all.
Maybe it's Andrew. Who knows? It could very well be like the New Jersey one yesterday, where I said there is no way New Jersey is scoring 7 goals. I think I talked last week about the fact that the Leafs, Sheldon Keefe has the Leafs playing a much better defensive style this season, which bodes well for the playoffs. They haven't looked like that over the last while. You look at some of their games, and I believe over their last 10 games where they faced a playoff caliber team or a playoff type team, they've allowed 4 goals or more, I think, in those games. You take away those 2 games where they blew out the New Jersey Devils in back-to-back games, and the Leafs have been allowing some goals. I don't think it's going to be a continuous problem for them, but I thought it could be a problem on this road trip, especially the game tomorrow. So we'll see whether they're better defensively tomorrow or not. It's likely going to be Campbell right back in net tomorrow. In a bounce back spot, and then Campbell in net for their final game against Seattle, unless they decide to go with Mrazek in that game in Seattle and give Campbell the night off. I think them losing to Calgary yesterday likely means that could be Campbell all 3 games. But I don't think they're playing as well defensively as they were earlier in the season. And again, when you're allowing some goals, it's not just on the goalie. Campbell's been fantastic, and he's been lights out. I don't think you hang that one on him last night.
Definitely not. This show, we've talked about a decent amount of overs here for a small slate. It looks like we both expect some goals in some games for tonight. But how about our next game and the last game we're going to discuss here on the slate before we get into our next couple segments here with the Seattle Kraken and the Anaheim Ducks going to battle tonight. We've got the Seattle Kraken that have gone under in 4 of the last 5 games. 5 straight games on the road have gone under, and 9 of the last 12 games in general have gone under the total. But they're playing an Anaheim Ducks team that, look, they seem to be a team that only really shows up against bottom feeders, and they haven't really done that recently. But I think they're going to get their goals tonight. So I look at the Grand Salami as a whole, and I haven't bet that quite a bit at all this season, Carm. That's a bet that I'm looking at because as you and I break down this card, I didn't even realize it when I was doing my research, but I was like, man, I like a lot of goals tonight. And I look at kind of the slump that we saw Anaheim go in. They had a couple goals against teams like Tampa Bay and Boston and Toronto, and then they play teams like Ottawa and Detroit, and all of a sudden they can't get it done. Obviously, that was late in the road trip. I understand that. But we got a team, back at home here with Anaheim, Seattle, an opportunity to kind of bounce back in some way after losing 5-2 to the Coyotes. They're giving up goals to everybody. I think I like one more over here on tonight's card, despite those trends I read off at the start of the introduction there. So I like goals again here, Carm, in this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fault you for it. I'm not sure if I can get to the total here. I do know that Grubauer hasn't been good on the road this year. I think you have to look at his numbers. I think he only has 3 wins. I could be incorrect there, but at one point he was at 1-9 or 1-10 on the road, I believe. Ducks are playing well. The reason I can't look myself at the total, and I'm leaning to the Ducks, is again getting back to goalies. If it's Gibson in goal tonight, he's played 8 games thus far in 2022. He's allowed 3 or fewer goals in all 8 games. He's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 5 of the 8 games. He's playing extremely well. The 2 games between these 2 teams, Anaheim won them both. I think 4-1 at home, 7-4 in Seattle. So they can score, and they have scored on this Seattle team. So we could see some goals. I think if we see them tonight, I think it's going to be a majority of them are going to come from one side of this of the ledger here, Andrew. A 4-2 game gets you there. The total's at 5.5 on this one. I'm going to lean on Anaheim here. I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. Gibby's playing very well. If he's in goal tonight, I think they get the win.
Carmen, we got some fun props we're going to talk about here. I'll let you start things off for us, but it is obviously Super Bowl weekend coming up. It's been hyped up for obviously a couple weeks now, or at least a week, I guess. You got your jersey on, so I'm going to assume that I know what team you're cheering for at this point. But we've got some fun cross sport props to go over. We're not going to spend too much time with these, but they're exciting. And hey, we always say money spends the same. When you go out for dinner with some cash that you made sports betting, they don't ask you how you made it. So let's see if we can find some opportunities, find some cool cross-sport betting opportunities, and I'll hand the mic to you to start things off for us.
Yeah, listen, props are a fun part of the Super Bowl. We all do them, whether it's coin flip, whether it's a national anthem. So we've got 8 different props that are across NHL and football. They're not all NHL games that happen on Sunday. Some of them happen on the following Wednesday. As they're tied to the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'll kick it off with the first one and then throw it over to you, Andrew. Total goals next Wednesday between the Avs and the Knights against Cooper Cup receptions. Cooper minus 1.5 in that. He's forecasted for 8.5 receptions in this game. 17 games this year, he's had 7 or more. The other games, he's had 5, 5, and 6. I don't think we see as many goals for the Avs. So I'm going to take Cooper Cup minus 1.5 receptions over the total of goals between the Avs and Knights. Andrew?
The second one we are looking at, we've got total NHL goals for Sunday versus Super Bowl first half points, Carm. And I'm going to go ahead and take these Super Bowl first half points. Obviously, there's a lot of people expecting the first half, especially, to be the lower scoring half in the Super Bowl. But on Sunday, we've got teams like Ottawa, we've got teams like Buffalo, Montreal, New Jersey in action. I don't expect all of those teams to light the lamp and get goals. So as much as I like overs on today's card, I like unders on Sunday's card. Give me the Super Bowl first half points.
All right, I'm going to switch it right back to the Avs and the Avs and Golden Knights game on Wednesday the 16th. Avs goals versus Joe Mixon receptions. Mixon, he's had 3 or more receptions in his last 5 games. He's averaging 5.2 receptions. I think he's going to get at least 4 or 5 receptions in this game. I don't think the Avs are going to get 4 goals against the Vegas Golden Knights. So give me Joe Mixon at a pick 'em for more receptions than Avs goals on Wednesday.
All right. These are fun. I really enjoy doing these. The next one we're getting into, this one's kind of interesting. And for this one, we're looking at shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights versus Joe Burrow pass attempts. And look, this is the thing. We have to first talk about Vegas Golden Knights team that has shooters all over the place. And they're playing the Colorado Avalanche in this one. I have to preface that. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be lots of shots. I do not expect defense in that one. And you got to get lots of shots on goal to beat the Avalanche here. We've got a Golden Knights team. They're one of the top 10 in the league in shots on goal per game. Joe Burrow, he wasn't that high up, actually, Carm. He was 20th ranked in the league in pass attempts. The Bengals were with 33. I'm going to go ahead and say Knights shots on goal. Because as much as I do expect to see the Bengals throw the ball, I do think we're going to see them mix in that run game a little bit as well. And let's expect lots of shots on goal from the Golden Knights.
All right, there's one for the NHL side. I'm going to give it another one for the NHL side. Super Bowl winning margin versus Alex Ovechkin's shots versus the Ottawa Senators. Ovi's averaged 7.4 shots per game this year in the NHL. This is a matinee game. We'll probably see some goals in this and a lot of Ovechkin shots. I don't think this is more than a 7-point game in the NFL. The Super Bowl, I think it's going to be a close one. So give me the OV shots over the winning margin for the Super Bowl.
Good stuff there, Carm. My next one is we're looking at Nick Suzuki, Montreal points versus Matthew Stafford interceptions here in this one. Look, Montreal, you guys know they're my favorite team, but they're struggling. They've got like 8 wins on the season. They aren't scoring that many goals. They aren't getting that many points out of their players. Matthew Stafford, he's going to get at least 1 interception, maybe 2 this weekend. Give me Matthew Stafford interceptions. I can't count on my guy Nick Suzuki to get me a point, even if it is against your Buffalo Sabres, Carm.
All right, I'm going to finish mine off. My final prop bet, Kadri, shots on goal -0.5 over or versus the first quarter points for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's averaged 4.3 points in the first quarter, 10-6-3 in the so far in the playoffs. Kadri is averaging 7.63 shots per game, albeit only 3.36 on the road. Give me the Kadri shots -0.5 versus the Cincinnati first quarter points.
I love it. And our last one here, we've got Sidney Crosby points this weekend versus Cooper Kupp touchdowns. And Sidney Crosby's been on a tear right now. He's got 8 points his last 5 games. And they've got a pretty good matchup coming up this weekend. Cooper Kupp, we know he's going to get his, but how many TDs will he get? Give me Sidney Crosby, the hometown kid, at least from where I'm from here in Nova Scotia, to get more points than Cooper Kupp touchdowns. So that does it for that segment. That's lots of fun. Hats off to Carm for finding a lot of these. Finding all of these, actually, and setting this up. So lot of fun. I really enjoy doing these, and there's lots of money to be made with those. So I'll put it out there. These just aren't, just for fun, like joking props. There's money to be made with these cross sport props. If you want to hear some funny prop bets, just tune into our Prop It Up show. You'll get a kick out of what Andy's best bet was and some of our other bets we gave out on the show. Carm, we have your 6 and 60 segment to get into, and then best bets at the end, and then the Wager Talk TV channel continues with Wager Talk today with Steve and Teddy after us. But let's jump in to your 6 in 60 segment. I'm looking forward to hearing it. What do you have for us for this weekend?
All right, let's get going. Vancouver and Toronto. I'm going to take Vancouver plus 125 here. Leafs have not looked good defensively last little while. Canucks should get a better game with Demko between the posts. They won all 4 games versus Toronto last year and 13 of the last 15 in Vancouver. Detroit and Philly over 6. They scored 9 goals the other day. This is a matinee game. I think we see more pond hockey here. St. Louis and Chicago. I'm going to take the Blues minus 135 in regulation. Look for them to bounce back. And with Husso in net, he's 7-1 at home. More Husso, less Binnington. Ottawa and Boston. Boston in regulation time as well, minus 135. I know Bergeron and Marchand are out, but they really need to bounce back off that terrible loss to the Canes. And they're on an 11-1 run versus the Sens. Calgary and the Isles. We're going to take the Flames minus 145. This is a bad spot for the Isles. Second of a back-to-back, the Alberta double. Flame streak continues. Nashville and Winnipeg. Preds minus 150. Bad spot back-to-back for Winnipeg. Give me the Preds here.
At the buzzer, the shot is good. The 6 and 60 segment. Great stuff there. Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com. Guys, remember, these are the current prices as of right now for those games. It's a good look-ahead spot. Good little piece of information from Carm. A lot of those plays, the numbers will move. So make sure you're kind of keeping track of that. If you want to jump in now. Don't watch this video tomorrow and tell Carm the numbers are different because they change, and we're doing this video on Friday. We have best bets to get into, and then it is time to move on and get a little bit closer to the Super Bowl. But I'll start things off, give Carm a little breather. Just want to remind you guys again about that 5% UFC play for this weekend. I'm super excited about it. Cashed last weekend with it, 15-5 run in the UFC. And I just had customer service make a coupon code for me. I appreciate all that they do. UFC 15. That will get you the play for just $15, save you $20. UFC 15, guys. Use that at checkout. Get my play for just $15. And it's all about the props this weekend. I was 6-2 last year in the big game, in the Super Bowl. We'll try and do it again this year. Best bet, we're going Kraken and Ducks over 5.5 goals. Right now, it seems like everybody can score on the Kraken. They also need some confidence themselves after actually playing a pretty good game, running into a hot goaltender. I expect goals from both the Ducks and the Kraken, and we'll get over 5.5 in that game. So that's my best bet. That's it for me. Carm, I'll hand the mic over to you for your best bet, and just a reminder to folks at home about your action-packed weekend.
Yeah, once again, a couple plays in NHL, a couple in soccer that are going today. Soccer cards up for tomorrow along with NHL. They'll be up shortly. Super Bowl package is up right now. Play on the game, 7 props, a couple more to get loaded after the show as well, too. And a couple of college basketball games as well, too. We had a very good weekend, the last weekend in college ball, going 7-3. We'll see if we can get that going this week as well. Some market movers quickly. Money coming in on the Dallas Stars tonight. Some money has come in on Anaheim and a little money on the Tampa Bay over. So some market movers for you guys. My show best bet is going to be that first game we discussed, Winnipeg and Dallas. I'm going to go over the total of 5.5 here. 7 of the last 10 games for the Stars have gone over the total. Let's see if we can make that 8 of the last 11.
Awesome stuff. Winnipeg, Dallas over 5.5 from Carm. I'm on Seattle, Anaheim over 5.5 as well. Guys, let's get some goals here on tonight's short NHL slate. Best of luck this weekend. We appreciate all of you for tuning in to Puck Time, but enjoy the Super Bowl Manage your bankrolls responsibly. Make sure you wake up with some money to take your girlfriend or wives out to dinner for Valentine's Day on Monday. And I'll leave you with that. Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you on Monday.
Fan of Super Bowl props, but not in Las Vegas for the big game? Hosting a Super Bowl party and want to keep everyone entertained? WagerTalk has you covered with our Super Bowl party prop sheet. The concept is simple and is easy for anyone to participate and follow. First, download and print out our Super Bowl 56 party prop sheet. Pass out to everyone at your Super Bowl party and determine the entry fee, if any, and payouts. All they have to do is circle their choices for each prop. And since almost all of them are 50-50, it does not require someone to be a huge football fan or understand sports betting to participate. To get your free Super Bowl party prop sheet, just go to wt.buzz/props and follow us on Twitter at WagerTalk the day of the big game to get results in real time.